Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. Today, Pamela, Jen, and I are talking about the Challenge USA Season 2, Episode 6, A Really Good-Looking Underdog. That's right. And if you have watched the show already, which I hope that you have, welcome to the After Show that is now showing you the best episode to ever be on the Challenge this season. Because it was. It was the best episode. It had everything I wanted. And, of course, it was all about Wes. And, oh, my God, this is the best episode of the season for sure. And everyone in the comment section will be like, oh, it's because Wes is your favorite. Yeah, damn right. That's why. It was awesome. Ladies, what did you think about the episode? Tell me you were as hyped as I was.
Pam, you go first.
I was going to say, take it away, Jenna, but okay, fine. I will say, I was not as hyped as you are. I did like it, but wow, I didn't like it that much. I mean, I really did like it, but I wrote like curses Dan and his, perceptive watching, because I was like, all right, it's going to be Dusty and Wes.
100%. Yeah.
At the beginning. And I liked it. I mean, I'm glad about the way it ended up, which again, without spoiling, but again, this is an after show, so hopefully you've already watched it, but I liked the way it ended. I don't know, you're gonna hate me, Dan. I didn't love Wes's intense displays of histrionics. It didn't match with the vibe he's been giving off the rest of the season, so I was like, that's a little weird.
Can you enlighten me on the word histrionics, please?
Hysterics, like emotion, yeah, sort of carrying on. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I was like,
I think it might be, maybe there's a bunch of reasons why I loved it, but let me break down that one for you.
He's pregnant, so he has a lot of hormones.
As a future dad, I know that things are about to change in my life, and to think of Wes, first of all, never being on the show again, made me think of like, well, there are things that I'm not going to be able to do. Like, honestly, I go to the gym every day. That's probably not going to happen like it used to. And I know that's something completely different. Wes makes money doing what he does.
Oh, no, damn, the tragedy. No, I'm kidding.
I really have childcare.
I really do enjoy working out, but I'm saying like this is his life. And also to me, I've been watching him since I was how old? I was probably 16, 17, 18 years old. So it's been, I don't know, 20 years that I've been watching him on TV. And to think that this could really be his last time ever appearing on the show, yeah. I was like, okay, I get one more week. Now that I know that like he's basically saying that this could be it, now it's like every week it's going to be, to me, must-see TV. Can he pull it off one last time if this is literally his last time ever doing this show?
Didn't Bananas retire like 3 years ago? Like, I don't believe it for a second. I feel like these people retiring is like, oh, whatever.
But does Bananas have a kid? And Wes, it's
but first, okay. So I also, to contradict myself, I understand how, especially in that pressure cooker environment, one could get very emotional. So I believe it's sincere and everything. But it's like, I don't think Wes is really retiring, which is why I'm like eye roll about it, because he just is only bringing that up when he's in elimination. It's never come up.
Well, okay, before. So to defend that as well, though, people wrote in the comments section that Wes jumping in the pool was on the first night, but they used it 5 episodes later because it went with the storyline. Wes could have been talking about this the whole season, but now it goes with his storyline because in elimination, so they use it now. If you wrote, did you read the comments? Apparently, Bananas dared him to jump in the first night because he lost a bet to something. I forget. Oh, that Paulie was going to be on the actual show. Okay. Bananas said he was, and Wes said he wasn't. Paulie's on the show. Wes loses the bet. He has to jump in the cold pool. They showed episode 5 because it goes with that storyline there. Just like him saying he's never going to be on the show could have been the first interview he did.
Fair enough.
We only learn we know Wes, so there's not too much to learn other than this is like a recent update in his life. But like we've said about the other episodes, we're only learning about people as they're going up for elimination. Sure. We learned about Cassidy and her sister tonight, Dusty and his dad. Now it's kind of they're foreshadowing, and they did a red herring, because I absolutely was completely surprised by the result of the elimination. I thought 100%.
Which is another reason I love this episode so much, Jenna. Thank you for bringing it up. The producers got me with that edit. Now, the only thing I ask after this, though, like, I wish they would just put a clock, though, so we could at least see that it was only 37 seconds. Like, show me that it's close, because to me, obviously with that edit, it clearly looked like Dusty won the thing. And yeah, this is where Dan would regularly throw his conspiracy theory in that it was rigged and they want Wes around. They don't care about this new character, Dusty. But you know what? It got rigged the way I wanted it to, if it even got rigged. So whatever, Wes is here.
It
but like,
worked in your favor. Oh my God.
It got rigged in my favor because let's be real. Like, this is one of those things that producers could literally, in conspiracy world, Dan, they could easily manipulate this because we don't know what the hell happened. Why did it look like Dusty won? Oh, because the way they edited it, right? Like,
no,
however,
so yeah, I agree. I have a thought on that too, because the whole time after watching this episode, I went back and forth on that, thinking like, I really don't want to like just always hinge on these conspiracies. Like, I always want to watch the show and not think that production manipulates it. However, we do have to be realists. Like, it is a reality TV show, even though it's a competition one. That doesn't mean that it's now it's not vulnerable to also being manipulated by production. Like, let's just be real and honest. I'm not saying that happened here, but it did have me wondering, did that happen here? Because Wes is like the golden child, and only because, like you said, Dan, well, we only see what the edit is. So maybe it was a fantastic job by the editors and they made it such an edge. You think one thing happened and then it actually in reality was the other. But what got me is the whole crowd thinks that Dusty won too, and
and also Wes, and this is why it's so confusing, because Wes was like, "There's no way I've won." Like, I know he said that in the confessional later, but him staying in that pool of water and bananas coming up to him, that whole moment, if Wes thought he even had a chance to win, he would not have been acting that way, which was just so defeated. And you never hear Wes always has his head up, and the fact that when he was announced that he actually had won it, since TJ said it out loud, he collapses to his knees. We've never seen Wes do this. So yeah, maybe Wes is acting it up just like he did when he went around doing his whole presidential thing, trying to get people to vote for girl, which was absolutely hilarious, by the way, the editing and the music and everything. But that moment, him dropping to his knees, was a real moment. He literally did not think he had won that elimination.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying it happened, but I'm saying it was enough to make me wonder, because everybody was so sure that he had lost, even himself. So it does make you head scratch a little bit. Like, 30 seconds though, in real, I don't know, 30 seconds is tough. Like, if you're standing at your microwave and you're waiting for 30 seconds to go by, it does feel kind of long. Honestly.
Yes.
But if you're watching an elimination, does it feel shorter? Are you on the edge of your seat? Is it different when you're there? There could be a completely innocent, truthful reason as to why they thought Dusty won. Like, maybe he just looked like he was working faster, but indeed Wes was working faster. Like, we don't know. And we can only watch the edit, but I do find it interesting that everybody there thought that it was Dusty. And again, I'm not trying to discredit Wes and say he lost. It just is, it's enough to make you question.
Yeah, I do believe it's real, because Dusty, as such a super fan and kind of a whiner, for lack of a better term, like a complainer. I feel like he'd be like, I haven't done it, I haven't stopped much. Like, I don't feel like he's the one you want to, rig a production thing for. And also, I feel like if you're on that thing, and Wes obviously fell off pretty quickly, you can feel like you lost because you fall off quickly, even if it took a long, if you're watching your microwave for 30 seconds and it's 30 seconds, it seems like a long time. If the whole thing lasted about 25 minutes to a half an hour, 30 seconds is nothing. So when he did announce 37 seconds, even when we thought it was Dusty who won, everyone was like it was very close.
Right.
So,
I think Dusty struggled with the ropes more than they showed, because they wanted to make it look that way. And also, I think it's a little unfair that, like, I don't know how they must just flip the coin, but Dusty had the clear advantage going second. He didn't even bother trying with that first wheel because he knew damn well there's not, that thing was, it's too damn small. Boom. He saved himself 5, 10, maybe even 10 seconds. Who knows how long Wes was trying to pull that original wheel to try to turn it. So maybe more. Exactly, Pamela. So there you go.
Yeah.
And stealing the line from Pam 2 minutes ago when she said, now I'm going to contradict myself. Now I'll contradict myself and say, although we did hear from everybody that they thought that Dusty won, we also are still getting that through editing as well.
Right.
So we're hearing from maybe 5 or 6 people who were for sure that Dusty won. Maybe there was another 7 in the audience who thought Wes did, and they're telling the story. The episode is telling the story that they want the audience to
absolutely
watch and be hooked by. And it totally got me. Like, I thought for sure Wes was going.
And here's the thing, Jenna, and this, you ladies are making my point on why this is the best episode of the season. I've been complaining about knowing who's basically going home every week. And yes, I knew Wes and Dusty were going to be involved, but I I 100% thought Wes was going home right until TJ made the announcement. So that is why and this episode also had some comedy bits, had me laughing out loud throughout the episode, and then had that shock value at the end for me. And I don't want to say I was depressed, because that's like such a that's not fair to people that really have depression. But yeah, but I was literally, my body had kind of sunk into the couch, like deep into the couch, and I was like, I'm never watching Wes on this show again. Like, as lame as that sound, there's real big problems in the world. I'm sorry, man. This is 20 years of dedication to enjoying a personality on reality TV. And I thought it was going to end today. And I'm going to get one more week of it now. And now I get to appreciate it even more.
I know I definitely got emotional as well, because I think what he's going through is just relatable on a lot of different scopes, like getting older or changing a career, whatever it is, having a baby.
Yep.
It's an end of an era for him. And, you know, when I don't have kids, so I don't know yet, but what it seems like is incredibly daunting. And it feels like such a, you know, you're terrified for it to happen, but parents get their grip eventually, you know, like we have people who come on the show who are parents. So maybe Wes will come back, but to him right now in his head, he's so overwhelmed that he is for sure that he's not coming back. So to see him just kind of have that emotional breakdown, it definitely, I empathized with him.
He did say on Twitter today, I just looked very briefly, he said, just to clarify, I wasn't saying I was retiring because I was having a baby. I'm retiring because of all my businesses. That's just like a thing. But again, we'll see. Again, I just don't buy it at all that Wes is retiring.
Well, he definitely made it sound.
You both pay him enough, right? You gotta go back.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
Have the kid vacation with the wife and whatever.
Well, that's the thing too. Exactly. Is like, I'm surprised he even brought the kid up as the reason, because he makes damn good. We know they all work on their weekly contracts. They're all different. You know, I mean, like the final prize is obviously the same for everybody. But as far as like a weekly contract, like a rookie is not getting the same amount of money as MTV or CBS is making the deal for Wes or Bananas, or even a Tory nowadays. So Wes is making good money doing this show as well. So I wonder. I think he wants to be around for his kid, obviously. But you know, what is it now? They do it 2 months now away versus 4 months, probably what it used to be. So it's not as bad. It's 2 months is rough. I mean, to be away from your brand new baby, but whatever.
Oh my God, absolutely. Well, I think it's like what I was saying, just the end of an era in general. You know, it's like the realization, like you said, he's been doing this since he was like 22 maybe. And I don't know how old he is now, but over a decade has gone by that this has been a part of his life. It's such a staple, such a centerpiece of his life, like the idea of no longer being a part of it, and now having a family, like just launching a whole new chapter in his life.
And it's like, also for the viewers too, where someone wrote in a comment section on one of the Instagram posts today, they wrote, you know, it's going to be really hard to replace a Wes and a Bananas and a CT, because they're going to be all done. You know, they can't do this forever. And now we're stuck with a Fessy, who is whatever, and a Corey, who is just, they wrote Corey is Corey. Like they didn't have a read. That's all like, he's just there. I mean, he's just Corey, right? And like, what is going to happen with this show? You're not going to find those type of stars anymore because of social media, and the world has changed. You're not going to get those natural people who existed before social media. People come in.
Real world people. Like, you're not going to get real world people.
You're not going to get real people, I guess. You could also say that too.
Yeah. I mean, and again, Wes said for the better part of 20 years. So it's like we've been watching it for years. Now I'm getting emotional. It's like, except I don't believe it. He's like, this could be my last night in the challenge house. I was like, all right, come on, you're Rats. You're gonna.
I get it. Look, yes, he could be playing that for cameras. I tend to want to go see. You nailed it, Jenna. I want to go old school here and like feel like this is a real emotion from someone, like I used to feel when I watched the challenge, where these people were just like, this is how they felt. It's real.
I think he's sincere.
He's really crying. And in fact, he's actually trying to hold it back. So, and that in turn, as we know, makes not crying even harder. Like if someone asks you if you're okay when you're crying, you're like,
it makes
it even harder to hold your tears back. you can see him like actively trying to, I mean, maybe when he's in that bedroom with Bananas, right? And like his head is in his hand, maybe that I could see, but in the confessionals or when he thinks that he lost the elimination, like you can say he's actually really trying not to let his
right, because in that confessional,
anyway.
In that confessional, who's he trying to convince to save him and vote girls in? No one. He can't. That's just for him and us at home. We can't do anything until after the show's already over and watch it and then react to it. And that's what really kind of upset me when I heard Desi's confessional, because I've loved her all season. And she's saying, oh, I don't think it's real. It's all an act. Like she straight up said it that way in her confessional. I was like, oh,
I know.
thanks,
well, you know what?
Desi.
I don't think that there's really not enough vets on this season who know Wes long enough. That's how I felt when it did make it seem like he lost. You had a lot of people just kind of standing up there like, you could see they didn't feel bad that he lost. And not that they should, it's not like it's their prerogative to feel however they want. Like it's money, it's a cutthroat game, whatever. They want a big dog out of the house. But for us, we feel more emotionally connected to Wes. And I think there was a lot of people in that house who had that connection to him. Like,
well, here's the other thing that,
like, oh, we don't really know you, so whatever.
here's what bothers me about some of the rookies too, though. Cassidy, for example, tonight, she's like, oh, Wes is the biggest snake in the house. I'm like, that's not what's happening here, Cassidy. Everybody is going to be a snake in this game when they have to be a snake. Some are bigger snakes, some are small. I get that. But everybody has to be a snake in order to win this money, Cassidy. So unless you're a snake, Cassidy, you're not going to win this money either. We see Bananas voting for someone that he's not supposed to do last week. That's a snake move. She should call him a snake. How about Tiffany doing the same thing earlier in the episode when she's supposed to be saving all her secret garden girls? Hey, guess what's in the secret garden? Snakes are in the secret garden, Tiffany. So Cassidy, you need to step it up and realize this is not about you versus Wes. Everybody's a snake. I can't stand her. I know we liked her last week a little bit, but her thing on Wes is starting to really piss me off, Cassidy. Sorry.
You love Wes, and I'll let you have that. And you're not wrong in your truth, right? But but my counterpoint is in Cassidy's truth, she doesn't know anything else. What she knows is Wes put me into elimination, so therefore I'm putting your ass into elimination. Like, let's just go back.
Okay, so she said Wes is the biggest snake in the house, though. Did you think Cassidy thinks there are other big snakes now? You tell me she thinks Bananas is a snake or Tori is a snake? Like, that's why I can't get on board with what Cassidy keeps saying.
Okay, well,
that's all.
Again, we're not in that house and we don't know what's being talked about.
I know.
I'm sure everyone, like, people do know Wes as a manipulator, as a game player, as a politician, and he's going around begging everybody to say girl, which is, of course he has to do that. That's his strategy. But from her perspective, that's probably where she's coming from,
The third, so I agree, has not developed a thick enough skin for this sort of thing. Like, she's definitely taking things personally.
More snake talk, Pamela, with the skin. So there you
go. Exactly. She needs she needs a thicker skin. But also, Wes has, for the past 3 things, tried to sort of put her as the person going in. So it's hard not to take that personally. First, he put her in, then they all put her in. And then this time he's trying to get it to be a girl. Like, what girl does he want in? It's the third elimination that he's kind of actively trying to gun for her, just because at this point I think it's easy for him.
Correct. That's why he's doing it, though. Pamela, you nailed it. That was my next point, is he knows not to make multiple enemies. If he's going to make an enemy, which he had to, not even his fault, he's like, I'm just going to have to keep doubling, tripling down because I don't need the rest of the house pissed off at me too for switching around. So he's just doing that move.
But of course, she's going to be irritated and find him to be a snake. If someone was personally targeting you, you would feel the same way.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like we said last week, so my question and point as I was watching this too is, as Wes is trying to do politics and go around, he didn't really have that great of an argument, honestly, other than put in a girl. It was kind of like, what are you actually offering them for them to want to do that for you? And if you make a promise to every single person in the house, how are you supposed to repay that promise? Everybody knows you're talking to every single person asking for a girl. And if your only kind of argument can be, you know, if you do this for me, I'll have your back. You can't have everybody's back. So I know they edited it, but to me, it didn't seem as though he was saying anything convincing or anything like I'm a must not vote, you know, just go girl. Like to me, I was like, oh, Wes, I understand. Obviously it worked somehow because he did get four people to vote for girls, but it didn't seem like he was offering anything that would really be,
it wasn't anyone other
there wasn't anything to offer. But my question was, why doesn't he just go to Cassidy if he really wants to be a puppet master, or, you know, if he really wants to shake the game up? Why doesn't he tell Cassidy, hey, it was actually your girl Desi and your other girls who told me to vote you in the first time I voted your name? Like,
I think you're
my team who told me to do it.
Well, maybe first of all, now they're going to be working on the same team, so maybe you see this happen next week. I think at that point, it might have been too late in this episode. He's like, I'm going in no matter what, most likely. But I think now that he's back and on Team Blue with Cassidy as the captain, whatever you want to call it, I think now maybe he can reveal some things. But then again, Desi's on that team with him as well. So I think Desi's on Blue.
Wasn't there when they did that though, was she? Wasn't
she the one on the couch? She was on green team.
Desi and Wes were on green. Desi said, I want either Amanda or can you do Cassidy? And Wes said, yeah, I'll do Cassidy for you. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know, whatever. It's fantastic. Everything about this episode, I just can't believe it worked out that we get to watch it for another week.
But I think, you know, teams do implode from within though. Like we see Red Flags is not even a damn team, you know? No, so Blue could be a little bit stronger, but they're due for their own explosion anyway.
Hold on though. Doesn't the green team have like just 4 members on it coming up next week? They have
now
4.
You have to switch with someone.
Oh, yeah, but didn't oh yeah, so they have 5 still then.
Now, but hold on. This is what I wish had happened. Chris is good. It's switching another good. I wish he got rid of Sebastian, who I'm sorry hasn't brought really anything to the table for me. Maybe we just haven't gotten to know him yet because he hasn't been in elimination, and we're gonna learn that he's incredible and really interesting. But I feel like that's would be a much stronger team. And I don't know. I just wish.
Yeah. That's a really fair point, Pam. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe if Wes knows that Chris wanted him out, because Chris was very vocal about trying to manipulate today's episode to get Wes the hell out of the game.
Maybe that's something we didn't see. That's a great point too, Jenna.
Yeah. Chris wanted Monty and Chris was mad at Monty and Tyler, and now they're a team, so they're gonna have to work together, which I think makes them stronger, which I feel like Sebastian would have been the better move there, because I think Chris would have been psyched to like be on the winning team. And yeah, now green is still really strong. Like they don't have the wisdom of the West, but they still gained a strong player.
Pamela, didn't you call this kind of sort of thing happening like 3 weeks ago? You said if all the vets can get to the blue team, they can really dominate. Yes. So there you go.
So that's what I'm hoping happens now, is that they make an alliance where when they win, they're not targets anymore. The other thing that I was thinking about how biased we are, just no matter what, and the show editing, is that like they're almost the narrator. You know, you like whoever the main character, you've got their point of view.
Yeah. They're the only person you hear.
All the vets, that they're like us. It's like, this is their show. This is the challenge. These other people are interlopers. So like, of course, I like the other characters, and I like that they're not idiots, like the, you know, international, never seen the show, whatever, that those people that we really don't care about and don't get to know, I like that at least we care about these people a little bit. But no matter what, we're going to be rooting for the people we've seen, some of them for 20 years.
Well, that's why the Challenge USA, that's why season 1 of the Challenge USA didn't work. It sucked. We didn't care. We had no rooting interest. And now you sprinkle in 6 vets, and mind you, 2 of them are already packed their bags and gone. Like, and we're still like, okay, can Tori and Bananas and Wes and even a Corey to a lesser degree, can those 4 do something here, along with Josh and possibly a Fessy hanging on their coattails? Can they all do something to make this, you know, keep it going? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. And being on so it adds another number to help out Bananas and Tori as the vets at that blue team table if they should win again. And it also, it's Bananas and Wes together.
It's amazing.
And And it's great to, I mean, another thing that's in favor of Wes, Bananas, and Tori having Chris leave to go to Green is I think Sebastian just
is
because
with Tori. You nailed it.
Is more amenable to going with what the vets want versus Chris. I think actually has way more.
They can manipulate him better, Jenna?
Yeah, like he's gonna do what the vets want. Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Seems more
whatever Tori votes for, he's doing that. And obviously every other vet is, and that's another number for them. So now you got Tori. Is Corey on red? Did Corey move to red? Or is
Corey, Josh are on red.
On red, yeah.
So now Green is bet free. Blue is bet heavy. Wow. But I'm excited now because there's some brains. That's what I was saying. That Blue is great, but they don't have like a mastermind. Even though Bananas is smart and good at some things, like an actual, not just in the challenge smart is Wes. So I'm glad that now Blue has a Wes to sort of help lead, and that they all, we're all old family now at this point. Like, love them, hate them, you love them, even if you hate them. Like, the vets are our family. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. This season is. What. I had said it earlier. This season is doing that to me. It's making me root for a Bananas and a Corey, who I usually regularly wouldn't. I guess really, I'd be just rooting for like more of a Wes. But now I'm rooting for them all. Like, put them all on the same team and let's go. And we also found out tonight that when you defect, you can take any male, if you're a male, any male you want. It does not have to be a vet. It can be any dude in this game and take their place. So I love that idea for defecting as well.
I want Michelle and Michaela to round out to be Desi's really good in Tori, so I guess I don't want that to change.
Well, what other girls on Blue?
Tori and Desi, which is
there's only 2 girls on Blue?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. All right.
Is that it?
Alyssa L went home, and Alyssa S went to Green.
Cassidy is on Blue.
And Cassidy.
We can take. Yeah, I'll take if we can switch Cassidy with with Michaela or something. Michaela was coming onto the Blue. Oh my God.
Maybe you guys can clear up for me, whether it's obvious or not, why everyone voted Dusty anyway. Why was he the other vote?
Let's start from the beginning of the episode then, because Dusty blames Tiffany for the vote. I don't know if that, I agree, Jenna. I don't know if that really swung the house to voting for him. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, well, it's an excuse. He was really mad at Tiffany. He made a big scene. And when you make a big scene in the house, unlike in the freaking early 2000s, it's a problem. It's not entertainment. It's a problem. We got to get him out of here.
Well, it was always a problem. Whenever anybody got drunk in the earlier seasons too, you would get, your name would be called for.
Yeah.
Like you were always on the chopping block if you were like that drunk asshole idiot the night before. That was like always a thing. But I was actually very surprised to see that energy from Dusty. I don't know if I liked it or disliked it. I was just surprised. I just was very like, wow, okay.
He had 4 votes. He was upset.
I was surprised. And he was wrong. That's why it was so off-putting, because he was wrong. He's like, Tiffany, like all the people she's like, honey, I didn't vote for you. Like, you can't like go after someone and be like, and my mission is to get you out. When it's like, get your
origin story.
Yeah, like what? And then she killed it for their team. So it was just a bad look. Again, I'm sure editing has something to do with it, but it did not paint a pretty picture of.
So I will say this in Dusty's defense, if you want to call it that. The people that did vote for him were Michelle, Chanel, Cassidy, and Desi, all people that are in the Garden Alliance. Yeah. Now, Tiffany is also in that Garden Alliance, and we know how Tiffany is with her voting. So she might have been in a room with those 4 girls, right? All saying, hey, let's vote Dusty in this week. And then Tiffany, like she likes to do, changes her vote at the last second. So yes, Tiffany did not vote for him. She voted for, I didn't write the name down, but she voted for Sebastian, which to me is another throwaway vote, because Sebastian got 1 vote. It was from Tiffany. It's on the sheet here from last week. It was a throwaway vote because maybe she didn't want to be aligned with putting Dusty in. So maybe she was involved with it, but just didn't go through with it like we've seen her do in past seasons. Right. So Dusty's his heart is in the right place, but his brain was, he messed up.
Well, again, like you don't really know. So you can count numbers and you can make theories, but you don't know 100% who those anonymous votes are. But I guess even back to before this episode, when he got 7 in the elimination, that's what I mean. The episode prior, I'm wondering why he is getting so many votes. It could be likely because he's that one amazing race guy, because he's the one person from a team that doesn't have that baked in alliance from a previous show that's 7 people deep, like Survivor, Big Brother Challenge. Like, he's just that one poor guy on his own. But that's what I guess my question was. Or like the girls on his own team on Red, I guess they care more about saving Josh and Corey. These are the things, like, again, we're not really seeing on the episode. So they must have a good alliance with Josh or Corey, or find them.
I think your Amazing Race, your theory, I think that has something to do with it for sure. Maybe not the whole thing, but I think there's something there. He's one guy. There's no one else from his show.
And a lot of those girls are, well, a good amount of them are all Big Brother, so they're gonna save Tyler
and Monty, yeah,
and their team. I guess
they can also save Fessy and Josh in that regard. They're also Big Brother.
Right.
Suppose, yeah, whatever.
Right, yeah, maybe because they're Big Brother adjacent. I don't know.
Yeah, it's silly because, like,
well, first off, because someone in the comments was like, "How dare you say Big Brother? Josh is not from Big Brother. He won Big Brother." I'm like, I know, but you see how hard he's riding for the.
Jenna, did you see my response to it?
I don't think I did.
I'll read it verbatim. Now, this girl is awesome. She comments like every week. She's very involved with our comment section.
Give her a name shout out.
I'll give her a shout. Yeah. So I always like if she says something, because she gets like real fiery. She likes to like just state her opinion on what we're doing, but she'll write good things too. But what's funny is her comment here got pushed to the bottom because it was like controversial, because YouTube's getting real soft here. And if you have any argument on YouTube, they just put you at the bottom too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it got pushed to the bottom of our thing as if it was like that big of a deal.
Hard to imagine a place on the internet where like arguments get, that's all the internet is.
Yeah.
is like all people not.
I know. So her name is Krista Todd, and she's very active in our comment section on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And she wrote, "I don't count Josh as Big Brother. He literally won his Big Brother season. What do you mean, LOL?" So I took I'm like, well, let me give you my reason why. So I respond, well, he's done 6 seasons of the challenge and 1 of Big Brother. And if you didn't see him on Big Brother like I didn't, then you associate him more with the challenge. And then I wrote, also, do you associate bananas with the real world or the challenge? ? Point Dan, winky face.
I am Team Dan. I am Dan, mic drop. Because
obviously I'm just having fun with it because that's what it's about.
Krista has a point. She does have a point. But Josh, I think, Krista, what we mean is, I think Josh has crossed over. And
we only know him from the challenge. We're watching the challenge, and he wants to be a challenger more than he he's
there's all these reasons.
What I mean is, like, I think
he's alliance with Big Brother. Yeah. He's in an alliance with the challenge. So that's why we're considering him a challenger.
Yeah, I think he just switched teams to the challenge.
One thing before we get into the daily challenge of the day, I thought it was real fun seeing Wes's wife, Amanda, and I love her entry where she does his well catchphrase. I thought that was real fun, and they used that. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Cute. No, that was really cute. And his dog and his Dan. Do you have a dog and a wife and a baby on the way?
Because I'm telling you, if I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. If Wes and I are not the same person, and we are twins, basically.
Oh my gosh!
Did he grow up on a lake?
Did Wes grow up on a lake? I don't know, but I sure did.
He's from like Kansas or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there could be some lakes out there in Kansas. I don't know much about Kansas. But I wrote down some line about how Wes and I are like twins, and it was funny, but I can't find it in my notes. Okay, here we go.
Are you as Dusty is to bananas is Dan to Wes?
Yes, someone wrote that in the comments too, Jenna. Yes.
Did they?
Yes. They said, who's obsessed more? Is it Dusty with bananas or Dan with Wes? I know it might have been 2 weeks ago, but I was like, hey, this is great. This is good stuff. People understand the dynamic of this show.
Yeah.
Because if Cara Maria is brought up, that's associated with Pamela. Like that. It is what it is. Cara, you did this. This is you. Cara lives. That's you, Pam.
I have a really funny Cara lives story from today that I really liked.
From today?
From Instagram. It was really cute. She was saying, like, I know I have the best boyfriend or the right boyfriend for me. She's like, I'm at this wedding and everyone is like gorgeous, like supermodel bodies. And like, I'm like looking around, I'm like, God, they all look so good. And I was like, Polly, don't they look good? And he goes, yeah, but how much can they bench? And she started laughing really hard. She's like, find a guy who likes you for you, like lifting. It was cute. It was very cute. I was like, oh, Cara. Happy Cara makes me happy. I can't wait for whatever spinoff.
Pamela, sorry, Jenna, what challenger do people associate you with? Would it be CT? Who do we go with for you?
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Good one.
Daily challenge is amazing. It's trivia, but they added a great twist to it, which is why this season is so damn good. They did a great job with the twist. It's called High Q instead of IQ. Very fun. And not only do they have to answer the questions, but it also involves strategic strategy, strength, and endurance. Like a lot of these trivia games, like you get it wrong, you just fall, or they just lean you over more, and you just have to wait till you drop with a cord. No, this one you actually had to be physically and mentally all there the entire time. And I think that's why this is one of the best trivia ones that they've done.
Well, physically, yes, but what is the strategy though? Because it seems very, because you said strategic, don't fall.
Sure. If you noticed a couple things, people only use their skin because their clothes were sliding. Another person had their foot jammed in because the tip of their shoe was made out of a different part of this, and this was able to stick nicely against that glass. Those are two big strategies right there.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that was really.
You're welcome, Jenna.
Thank you.
I'm here to tell you all about
this. There's a lot of things I didn't know in this trivia, but one thing so many things, but one thing
we're gonna break it down.
Okay, because there's one that I was like, come on, no one on the team knew that I feel like is
okay.
So you girls know I take my trivia very seriously, and every year we do this show, I'm like, I knew them all except one. I made a mark on at least 6 that I did not, and I wouldn't have known at all. So there was a lot that I didn't know about this one as well.
Yeah, I'll one up you. I think I only knew 3.
Really? Okay. Well, let's.
I'm pretty sure. Looking back at the list, I was like, "Damn, I think I only knew 3."
Should we go through all of them real quick or no? Okay. Well, this is one of not my favorite movie of all time, but I know like everything about this movie. So Jaws' director Steven Spielberg. I knew that. Jenna.
But that one I did get correct. I was like, "Oof." Look at me.
Right off the bat.
I knew the second one because I met my wife on this app, and it always has the thing. It's a designed to be deleted. It always pops up when you sign into Hinge. So I knew that was Hinge. Anyone?
Did not know that.
You both of you would never be on Hinge because you've been in relationships for so long. So there you go.
I did not know it, but I like that they threw in Corey's confessional when he so confidently said, "What did he say? Steven Spielberg."
Oh God, yeah, he's such. Yeah, he put an S in the middle of his last name.
A thing that I feel like is like pretty common knowledge, but I guess not necessarily.
Yeah, not as bad as the one. It's one of those that you could. I do feel like it's common, but also you might name like another one of the monster directors. You know, you could I feel like you could confuse that maybe with like another.
I mean, this one put Steven on the map though. This was his, like, it was either like, because Jaws had a bunch of issues when they were filming this thing. The shark wouldn't work, blah, blah, blah. And if things didn't
know all that.
Well, if things didn't go well, I watched a lot of documentaries on it. If things didn't go well, basically this was going to be like his like he wasn't going to be taken seriously. It was either like it's go big or go home. It's going to be a bust or he's going to be the greatest thing ever, and it turned out to be the greatest thing ever. So there you go.
One shot, one opportunity.
Question 3 in poker: what's worth more, a straight or a flush?
I didn't know this.
Not for me.
I played in high school. It's a flush. In high school, we played every Friday night because we were nerds. We played video games and poker in our buddy's basement. Shout out to Buzz. He was at my wedding. He knows all about playing poker every week.
Girlfriend Wolf.
Well, his real name's Chris, but we call him Buzz because when we used to play basketball as a kid, we thought he was really quick and he buzzed around the court. So we started calling him Buzz. How crazy is that? What a nickname.
That's a good one.
Childhood nicknames. If anyone has some great childhood nicknames, throw those in the comment section because they're all ridiculous. Well, you girls didn't have childhood nicknames?
Well, I have a friend called Stretch Rosner because he played first base. Stretch.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. Everyone's got one. Jenna?
Well, my last name is Bussier. So like what you're saying about Buzz, I actually have an Uncle Buzz and we call my grandpa Buzz. Like Buzz is kind of a shortened for my last name, but sometimes people call me like the bus because it was Bussier.
That's pretty close. Yeah, that's good.
That's kind of cool. Yeah,
the bus is a good nickname.
Maybe not for like a 6th grade girl, but
the bus is coming. Move aside.
Actually, it was my teacher because I went to hand in schoolwork and I didn't finish my last name. I don't know what happened. I just got distracted.
It just said Jenna Bus.
Yeah, and she was like, "Okay, Jenna the Bus Bussier."
Oh, that's great, Jenna the Bus Bussier.
Cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
that's
if I
great.
scored a goal, if I scored a soccer goal in the game, they would say "goal by Jenna the Bus Bussier."
Yeah,
just got hit by the bus.
He's got hit by the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it is.
I like that.
Anyways, moving on. The flag. This was interesting. How many red stripes are on an American flag? I knew there was 13 stripes altogether because that was to represent the 13 colonies. But I didn't know. And then I'm like, well, that's an odd number now. So one of them, red or blue, has, or red or white, sorry, red or white has more stripes. So I was going to guess 6. So I would have been wrong by 1 because it was either 7 or 6. Because now we find out that if red has 7, then there's only 6 white stripes. So there you go.
I probably would have said like 100. Just kidding, but
nope.
I didn't know.
Pamela, you didn't know how many
I didn't know, but I would have. I mean, again, like I do know that it's 13, so I would have sussed out either 6 or 7.
Right.
I didn't. But before they answered, before I even got that far in thinking and the way it was shown, I was like, "How many are?" And they answered, and I was like, "Oh, right. Okay." So I didn't know enough of that though.
This next one I thought was really easy though. I don't know what you ladies thought on the $100 bill.
Everyone was like everyone, because Benjamin, like,
yeah, there you go. You can look at that way too.
So no, but sure.
Yeah,
I always remember it because like he wasn't a president, and that's what the money's known for, putting a president on the bill. And he's not.
That's why we always think he's a president. That's funny. That's why one of the reasons why I always think he's a president.
No, definitely. Yeah, he never was one. Land of I got this wrong. Land of 1,000 lakes. I said 10,000 lakes. I said Michigan, and
I
that's
was
what
thinking
they said.
Wisconsin. I got it wrong too.
And then I said Wisconsin after I got it wrong, but it was Minnesota. I was mad at myself.
You know what? I was disappointed because I did know that, because I remember having that conversation before, like in the past, like thinking it's Michigan because it makes so much sense for it to be Michigan, and then being like, oh my God, it's Minnesota. So when they said it, I was like, I know it, but I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, I didn't. I got that wrong.
This one I didn't like. Super Bowl 57, who was in it? Now, but maybe they never say, when you hear Super Bowl, they always write it in Roman numerals. So I'm really bad at knowing who was in which one, just because I only see Roman numerals and I never know if that's like that Roman numeral means 57. Like I just don't do the math on it. So I never associate numbers with the Super Bowl. I just associate what teams were in what year. So I was like 57. I watch football. I'm obsessed with football, but I had no idea what it was. It's the Chiefs, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Using the number throws you off. If they had said like who just won the Super Bowl, then that would be different, you know.
Or in 2022 or 20. I could have done the math maybe a little bit better if they did the year, but I don't know. Again, it's the Roman numerals always throw me off with football with that stuff. I don't play golf, so this one I got wrong too. Double eagle. I knew that an eagle was. I thought an eagle was like 2 under. So a double eagle, I guess, would be, I thought maybe 4. I don't freaking know. I don't even know if you can do that. So
not for me.
Not for me either. No, I don't know my golf. I can do mini golf. If they ask me any mini golf questions, like how many clowns are you allowed to have per 18 holes in mini golf? The answer is 1. You only go through 1 clown mouth. You're not allowed anymore. I don't know if that's true. I just made that up. All right, here we go.
I'll accept it.
Capital of Canada.
I knew this.
I only knew it when I heard someone say Ottawa. I said, oh, yeah, it's Ottawa. So if I was on a team and I heard someone say Ottawa, I would have backed that person up and said, that's what we're going with. I know that that's it. I knew it wasn't Montreal or Vancouver or any of that. Yeah. So, Jenna?
No, I didn't know. And why would you be so sure it was Ottawa? It just like rang the bell?
A lot of times when I hear, like when we go play trivia at a bar, like during the football season, every like Monday night it is. And, when I'm we can work with your team, and anytime someone's, it's like, it'll just like, you know, give you that extra, like, oh yeah, that's definitely what it is. That extra like memory thing where you have someone backing up what you thought it could be.
You know who said it? It was Fessy who said it.
Oh, good job.
Oh, he said Ottawa, and then no one believed him?
Ottawa, and then Tori screamed Montreal.
Yeah. No, they had it wrong, and I knew it because of a child that I know that's very into capitals. So.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I thought for sure that the green team would have the less of advantage because there's less people and there's less people to give answers. That's the way I went. Monty, when he said in his confessional, he's like, well, if there's too many people up there, though, they all might argue. That happened in that case. Overall, it didn't affect them. They still ended up winning. But to me, it's like, dude, you only have 5. You're the green team. You got 5 people up there. That's like less minds to think of random nonsense. This was harder trivia than we've ever seen before on the challenge, too. So I thought you want more people on your team.
And some of the stuff like is really specific to that person, or like maybe the time period they grew up in, or the type of music they listen to, or their culture. Like, you know, it just, there's some things that I feel like having more people would be more of a benefit.
Like when we get to this Taylor Swift question, I know she's on tour right now. I don't know what the F her name of her tour is.
Really?
I have no idea.
Like all over the place. I feel like it's hard to avoid Taylor Swift news. Like, how do you not know?
Thank God I'm avoiding it. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan at all. Comment in the comments about how much you hate me now. Whatever. I'm not a fan. I'm not I don't get why her music, it seems like the most like blah music to me. It's blah.
Okay. You don't have to get it because there's plenty of those who do. Like,
are you a Swiftie, Jenna?
Okay. She's not crying over our lack of.
I mean, I'm not spending $3,000 to go to the tour at all.
It's $3,000 to go on. What do you mean? What does that mean?
For resale, like people, what happened with her concert was criminal. I feel like the people who were reselling her tickets should go to fucking jail, because they could literally, if they were lucky enough. So people love Taylor Swift, so her tickets going on sale like kind of broke the internet, broke Ticketmaster.
Aren't they only allowed to buy a certain amount though to stop people from doing that though? I would assume.
But they know so if you were lucky enough to get them at face value, which I actually know some people who did, and I'm like, you are like a needle in a haystack.
Well, what was face value on them though? Still
probably like 200-ish.
Oh, okay.
I still don't want to
like
pay.
If you got like verified Ticketmaster or whatever, if you got access through that like pre-sale sort of thing. But people were reselling them. Yeah. When she was in New Jersey, I looked it up, and I think a ticket for like way up in the 400s was like $2,000 for a ticket. It was just absolutely criminal, you know, to be able to resell a ticket for that much is like, and the stories that you see online, I saw one that some girl like sold her car to be able to go to a Taylor Swift tour. And it's crazy, but to each their own. But no, I love her music. So
there you go. All right. Moving on to American Civil War. I'm really good at the World Wars, but I can't. Going back that far, I knew it was 1800s, but 1861. It was. I would. Nope.
Yeah, it's hard, right, to know the exact like.
That was a lot. Exact year, but you know, but if they said, you know, when did they bomb Japan in World War II? Like I know it's December 7th, 1941. So like I know like the whole date on that, you know. So I don't know. It's just, if you were really into American Civil War, I think 1861 is something that, again, you were saying it's a niche thing. Maybe only one person knows it. If you're obsessed with Civil War, you definitely know when it started.
That's the thing. Like you need the history buff on your team now, you know, and there's bound to be one. Maybe if you get that many people together, don't you feel like there's always someone who like loves history? But if they're not on your team, then you're screwed.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Then we go into a commercial break. We get back from a commercial break, and we get one that I thought was super easy. The lead singer of the White Stripes.
Yeah.
That was one of the only ones that I knew as well. And
that one seemed easy to me.
I only know one of their songs.
I'm not even a fan. I just know that it's Jack White. I just know that it's him.
I was like, that was
named after.
I'm like, of all the things, I really don't know fucking history, but I know the lead singer of this band that I know one song to.
Yeah, but you know what? We're also, I don't want to say we're older, but a lot of the people on the show are like mid-20s. You know, I'm late 30s.
They're enough of age. Like
I know. What? I don't remember what team got asked that question. Was
also,
it team
you at least know
Green?
It's not. You at least know, at the very least, you know it's not Steven Tyler.
Yeah, well, I think they're just throwing it out just to be ironic, but yeah.
I know, but yeah, I guess you have to answer the question or say something, right? But
yeah. All right.
It's not him.
This girl annoys me. JoJo Siwa.
I knew that because that was my show at AfterBuzz. My first show was dancing.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh, that show! I didn't watch it long enough for JoJo to come in, but wow, that show was fantastic.
I've only watched a few episodes, and I don't remember seeing a JoJo there, but so I would not have got this right.
It was a little later in the day. Yeah, the show
is the highest level of drama, and again, we know reality TV, how much of it is real, right? But when you see people like that go at it, it's so stressful. You're just like, is this wow, we really need to reprioritize some things here because this drama is fucking crazy, but it's so entertaining.
Then you get the Taylor Swift one, which we went over. Eras.
Eras, her eras,
Era, like it's the
Eras.
end of an era.
like all of her albums and
Oh,
everything
amazing.
she goes through, because she has been famous and she was like 16, Dan, so you will respect.
Yeah.
She's been famous since I was 21 years old. I was my senior year of college. The year after that, there was a big push for her. I remember, so like 2007, 2008
Yeah.
was when I found out how big she really was. Okay. The U.S. Constitution. This got asked to Amanda S., who was the last person left on green, and I'm like, I would bet a lot of money Alyssa S. does not get this one right. How many amendments there are in the U.S. Constitution? It's 27. I said 13 as well because I took it as more of like the original amendments. I think there was 13 original amendments. I'm probably wrong. People can comment. But yeah, so I assume both of you didn't know that one too, because
No, I thought
27. I'm like, they keep adding more to them. I'm like, I'm not like the LGBT. Like I know that much, but after that, when it goes QA, I don't know the rest of the letters anymore. I know there's LGBT. I know those four, but like the amendments, I stopped after probably, I don't know. I know 20 of them, maybe. I don't know the last 7. I have no idea what they are now.
Given up. He's
they make new ones every week. I don't know what they are. All right. Decotydrin. It's a 12 shaped 12.
Oh, I did 12. Know this because Dec is 10 and it was Deco. Hold on, no, dose. Deco dose some things. It was Deca and dose. So I mean I would have guessed that.
Okay. I didn't. I think I would have. I think 12 is a good number to guess. Like that's something I would have thought of when I heard dodecatron.
Yeah, deca dose or something.
Sounds good. I don't know what I would have said though in the moment.
So yeah, I would have either thought. Yeah, I mean I didn't know it. Let's be. I didn't know it, but it
Jenna.
No.
No, good answer. Okay. This next one I thought was easy. William Shakespeare. Where was he born?
That I'm like, who doesn't know
England?
that William Shakespeare?
Yeah. He was so, but it's like Jenna, he
like
was
the most
so
British guy ever.
Right. Like he's the definition
he's so
of
famous for his works in England and his playhouse that he built a theater. Like the Rose Theater. Like I don't understand why people don't know this.
Romeo and Juliet. Even if you're like young, like you know those things, you still read them in 8th grade. Like
so now the only thing is,
can't even get me started on Romeo and Juliet, because now that I'm an adult, I'm just like, that is the most like fucked up, stupid story. Why is
it stupid?
Because just like check that she's alive before you kill yourself.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. So we went to Italy this past summer, and we went to
Italy, right? Like, sorry, I'm like, how could you Italy? And they're like, oh yeah, maybe no one was like, no, fucking London, idiot. Like how?
Well, they said Italy, right? They said Italy, but I went to Italy because Romeo and Juliet takes
it over
water. That's a play. Like Italy. What it like? Mamma mia! Get off of the stage of Romeo. Like, how do they think he's from Italy?
They just messed up. But my point is Romeo and Juliet took place in Verona. So in Verona, Italy, they have a whole Romeo and Juliet thing, and Stacey and I went and saw it. It was really cool. So that's
that is cool.
They got a statue of Juliet there.
Or Shakespeare and theater. I mean, that's just the kind of thing. Like if you went to junior high, and I think everyone on those things did, like learn about Shakespeare.
We read Romeo and Juliet in 8th grade. We read it in our English class. We had to perform the whole damn thing, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And if not 8th
grade.
So
melodramatic. Everything about him.
Yeah. Othello. I mean, everything. Yeah.
So dramatic.
Has no one seen the movie Shakespeare in Love, which was awesome as well, which was very not.
But one of my favorite movies of all time is She's the Man, and that's based off of 12th Night, the Shakespearean play. So.
There you go. How about 10 Things I Hate About You, which is based on Taming of the Shrew?
Love. Also, Shakespeare and I, we share a birthday. So
really?
That's why we're both so wonderful with words.
Yay!
Gotta be.
That's wonderful. That's nice.
Yeah. And we're both very dramatic. So
that's good. That's the one that I was like, how I'm not that's like Adam and Eve was the one last year that I remember being like, you don't know Adam.
That one was bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt about this. It's a universally
That
known.
one was
He
bad.
represents England, I feel.
So let's call him out. Who was up there? It was Michelle, Tiffany, Chanel. It was the red gals, right? Team Red Girls.
What's really funny is I wrote down what team answered each question before the commercial break, and when I came back, I just wrote down. I forgot to write what team answered each one, so I messed up the last time.
I mean, whatever. I'm not mad at it. To them, it could be as as hard as I thought. A different question was.
Right, right. I guess, but that's the only one that I was like, really? That everyone else, it's like, okay, if you don't know, you don't know, like whatever.
Yeah.
That one, I feel like, how do you escape knowing? That's the one I'd like to read the responses to. If people commented, Dan, on social media, if they've been like, listen, I know, like just blanked or what? Because
yeah, exactly. Because that's the other thing. Like, how much time do you really have up there? And you're thinking, you're above water, you're sliding, you're like, you just
right.
Yeah.
Like, it's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I was like, come on, people, you know this.
Two more left here. Guitarist that used his tongue on his guitar. I knew it was Jimi Hendrix. Like, that's what he was.
I didn't know he did that. That's cool, though.
Yeah, it was cool. And then the final one, which I didn't know, a British band, A Rush of Blood to the Head. It's Coldplay.
I knew that one too.
I did not know that.
I know. I'm not a Coldplay guy.
So. Yeah.
I was gonna guess Oasis.
That's a good guess.
I like Oasis.
Yeah, that's
because I was like, who else could be as dramatic as Oasis? But it was Coldplay. I love Coldplay. Sometimes I forget that they're British because they just like Oasis still sounds British when they sing, kind of, but Coldplay, like most British singers, just sound Chris Martin sounds so like American when he sings, Sure.
Yeah.
Or just you don't have like the accent when you sing.
You don't have the accent.
I 100% agree for sure. Okay, that's it. That's the blue team had a comeback too. The blue team, their thing was tilting like earlier on, and everyone else's was still flat, and they came back to win it. They also had the most players though, so I'll throw that out there as well. Mm-hmm. Definitely swayed in their direction for them to win this one. If they didn't win this one, I would have been shocked and appalled. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But they should have won. They had the most players. There's no reason for them not to win. They had the most bodies up there to hang on, and they had the most bodies to answer questions. How could they not win this?
You could have the most, but you could have the most dumb players.
Yeah, but you got to go with the percentage, though. There's got to be someone that could probably do it on there, and you have
you know what I wanted?
Yeah.
We were dogging on her last week. I wanted Alyssa to like just show off that she knew all the answers, and she's just hanging on there by like a pinky finger. I just wanted her to hang on the whole time and be able to answer all the questions correctly. I was like, this would actually be sick if she.
I agree, and I was rooting for her too. But when that U.S. Constitution one came, I'm like, there's no way in hell she knows this.
She like stopped for a second and thought about it, and then answered just very like temperamented. I went like pretty confidently that I was like, well.
Yeah, I 13, if it was the original Constitution, I think she's right, but it was the up-to-date one in 2023, which has added some on there. So, yeah.
So do you guys remember?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pam.
Well, no, go ahead.
Same thing, similar thing with Tiffany at the end there. Like it goes up a little bit higher because she got the answer wrong, but she's still able to hold on for like a good 10 seconds. Because they look so like calm when they were doing it, Alyssa and Tiffany, that I thought maybe she had another question in her, but unfortunately she fell.
Yeah.
Well, there was some season, I don't remember which one it is at all, but where Jenna and Zach, Jenna, not the bus, Jenna,
not the bus,
Jenna, what's her name?
Tall Jenna,
Zach
and Jenna,
crushing it at trivia, and it was like, what? She's like, sweet, like she was the last one on a team, and everyone was like, there's no way, and every question, and they were hard questions. It'd be like, like what kind of flower only has one piston? She'd be like, a lilac. Like she did seem like she was guessing, and she got everything right. And I was awesome. I'm like, ew, what if Alyssa's like that?
Mm-hmm.
But,
I found my line about Wes, by the way. I wrote, Wes has a baby coming. I've got a baby coming. We are the same guy, basically. That's what I wrote down for.
Oh my God. We are best friends. We were separated at birth. I just love him so much.
Great. Hey, he's been great TV for 20 years. All right. So we can talk about nominations if you want, but other than that, we've covered the rest of the episode already. So we do. I mean, everyone, they couldn't say the numbers were good. So Bananas actually makes a pretty strategic play here. He's like, look, let's just go with them because we're not. What's the point of fighting it? They're going to be against us even more if we fight it and try to save Wes, and then we're going to put our asses on the line for that. No. So they just say, yep, Wes, they just casually say that they agree with that. Yep, we want Wes into, when in actuality, they would obviously want him for the numbers. Jenna, you okay with that? Or
Yeah, I was just thinking, could there be any alternative? I guess there always is. I guess there's always an attempt. Like you could try
there's
to
always a Josh in the grass trying to change everybody,
mean,
which he did, but
you never know, right? So I don't know. I mean, I thought when he said it, I was like, okay, I could see that. You know what? That makes sense. Good strategy. Do what you got to do. But I was, but like you're saying about how Josh was able to pull that off last week. Like, I wonder if he could have found some sort of argument. But I also think people are just other people in blue are very reluctant to hear what any of the veterans have to say. Like I think even if Bananas made the most perfect argument that would have benefited their game, I think they probably just would have been like, shut up, we're saying Wes,
Numbers are numbers. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Ladies, can we do the math on Team Blue now that Wes is there? Are they going to have the numbers to hopefully save? So Chris is gone. Alyssa S is gone. I'm going back to my main thing. I'm trying to figure out. Sebastian's still there. Alyssa's gone. You got Corey. Corey's gone. You got Tori, Fessy.
Corey, Bananas.
Tori, Fessy, Bananas, Wes.
Sebastian, yep. Cassidy.
Yep.
Desi. I think that's it.
So there's only 7 there.
Fessy.
I already got Fessy. All right, so we got Cassidy, Desi, Tori, Wes, Fessy, Bananas, and Sebastian, right? Is there anybody else?
There are.
There's 8, though. Who's
Fessy, Sebastian, Bananas, Tori.
Yep.
Desi, Cassidy.
I only can get 7.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think who it is because it's who went home tonight. Dusty was on red though, so that doesn't affect their team. Who the hell else is on this team?
Chris went to green. Wes replaced Chris.
I can't remember, guys.
Who the hell is it? Is Tyler's on green? Who the hell is it? Chanel's on red.
That's it. No, it's 7 people.
Why did I think there was 8? Did one go home last week? Who went home last?
No, I think that's it. That's got to be it because I'm
okay. So if we do it that way, you get Fessy, Bananas, Wes, and Tori, and there's your majority right there. So they can have control of that team, unless there's an 8th member we can't think of. Tell us in the comments. But they also have Sebastian, so they should be good because Sebastian will. So yeah, the majority is gonna vote to keep the vets around, and this is huge for Wes and Bananas and Tori. This is great. Oh, Wes, I might get to watch Wes for a couple more weeks now. This is great. Yeah, I'm calling this Wes's swan song season. This is it. He's done.
Yeah, because Fessy is wishy-washy. Like he's not going to say anything to stand up either here nor there. Desi and Cassidy. I just made them a rom-com name, Destiny, or like celebrity couple name. They are gonna want to do their thing together. But I think Sebastian. I mean, he's Survivor though. So I don't.
If him and Tori keep doing their thing, he's gonna go with Tori. It is what it is.
But I would like for that to not be his story. I would like for him to play his own game.
Well, you know what? His story is Tori, so that's what we're going with.
We'll see.
That much of an item, are they? I mean,
they're not.
I'm curious. They haven't mentioned them the last couple of weeks. However, they have mentioned Alyssa S. and Tyler again tonight. They were both on bed, nodding their heads and googly eyes and smiles like this. On opposite like this.
Yeah, I gotta say, Tyler has gone down in my estimation from like what I was expecting from him to this season. It's not like I don't like him or anything, but I really liked him on Big Brother, and now I'm like,
you just don't like that he's got googly eyes for Alyssa S.
I'm just surprised after it's a big downgrade from the original, from the 1.0.
Really
but also Angela, come on, is like good at things and hot. And like,
listen,
we're all good at our own stuff, Pam.
Yeah.
I know what you mean about Tyler, though. Again, I wonder if it is that sort of thing that when somebody's going home, they're 95% of the damn episode. But I feel similarly with Monty, where it's like, is he even there or something? It's the edit, but I'm like, I remember him being pretty active and vocal and communicative to other people during Big Brother. And it's just like, I feel like every time you see him, it's just like him and Tyler sitting in the corner, just like alone,
Right.
not talking to anybody.
Yeah, I agree. None of them are, again, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe once it's their turn, we'll get a
Yeah.
episode that sheds a different light on them, like a la Cassidy. Because now I'm like, Cassidy's the best. But yeah, so far it's like,
Yeah. Because it's like Big Brother has so much politics to it too. Because I was thinking maybe this just isn't like their game, or they're like kind of getting their feet wet, working out the kinks of what it's like to be in the challenge, which is totally fair. And again, it's probably the edit just because we can't see everybody in every episode. But yeah, I'm like, but Big Brother has so much political strategy to it. Like I'm sure that they would be conspiring something. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either, but it is, I guess there's only so many hours in the show.
Hours in the day, and we get 2 episodes a week, so they're trying their best.
Yeah.
One final thought from me. I've never heard Wes in the 20 years I've watched him ever be referred to as Bergie before, and Bananas did that tonight. And I thought it was great. Of course, anytime you get a good nickname. This show's all about nicknames tonight. I love a good nickname, and Bergie, great nickname. I'll be calling him Bergie the rest of the season.
Really sweet.
I also love that Bananas went over there.
Yes, they are the challenge darlings this season as far as from a viewer standpoint. I know all the other shows hate them, or like, Big Brother and Survivor want them gone. I'm sorry, but they are carrying this show. Bananas mentions tonight. They've been carrying this show for a while now, and they still bring in the ratings. If next week's episode is not the highest rating that CBS has had for a challenge type show since they did the Challenge USA 1, I'd be shocked, because Wes is back and every episode is a must watch, because this is like his final outing. It could be his final at bat. It could be his final touchdown throw. What other sports analogy do you want? Maybe he throws a couple aces in there. I don't know, but this is much watch TV.
Yeah, and I know you were looking for a job. I don't know if you still are, but Wes, if you're watching,
if you need a hype man,
go further for a hype man. Exactly. You've got your number one
yes man.
So I mean, you remember when we had him.
You're never wrong. Everything you do is perfect. I think that's Wes's inner dialogue, though. So it might not be.
Well, do you remember when we had him on this show? I wrote him the epic intro, and I was like, free time winning, blah, 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 blah. I wanted him to have, he deserves to have that big of an intro. He's been on the show forever.
Okay. Dan, I think
he would pay. Dan would sell his car if Wes was doing concerts like Taylor Swift. And
it's so funny you bring that up, Jenna, because like I'm a huge Celtics fan and Patriots fan, but unless the prices are like down or like I get a good deal, no, F that. I got a TV. I watch all on TV. I get the bathrooms right there. I got food right there. I don't have someone like on each side of me. No, I'm good. But yeah,
that's how I feel.
I'm like, the home entertainment is like, it's come to a level where it's almost as good as being there, and I don't have to go anywhere out of my house. So yeah.
If they're putting on this crazy performance, like I'm sure Taylor Swift does, I could see wanting to be there, but like same agreed with what you're saying about last night. A couple of shows I've seen, it's like I'm watching them on a monitor anyway,
right? Because you can't, they're so damn far away, or something.
Like I can't see you on the stage, and I like people that like stand there with guitar. So it's like I can watch you stand there with a guitar
I think it's like I just want to hear the sound come through the speakers live. I'm like, I'm good. That's fine.
Sometimes, like, I'm glad that I go both ways on that one. If there's certain things I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd totally kill to see that. But most things, unless they're like threatening to retire, like when I saw Paul Simon, and now that's why I roll my eyes at Wes. It was like the final tour ever. It's like, Paul, you're gonna play on stage again. It might not be a Giants tour anyway, but it's like, all right, I'm looking at you on a monitor anyway. So
yeah, but we'll see though, because like we said, it is. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
Go ahead, do it. Oh,
did you do it?
It got muted.
Not here.
No, I didn't hear it. But sometimes when people are like in advance, it ruins the sneeze. Say.
But I do love, maybe he just wants to he doesn't want to leave his kid. He wants to have such an active role that he's like, even if I could, even if my wife was cool with it, even though we could probably afford, like he still just might not want to, you know,
Right.
he doesn't want to leave his kid for X amount of weeks or months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it's one of those things because Wes was doing something this episode. I know he was emotional about becoming a father, among other things, leaving the game for good. But we have seen him do this in a few of the past seasons he's been on, with the exception of All Stars, because he was really great and like locked in on All Stars. But some of them before, don't you feel like he kind of mentally checks himself out before the elimination even starts? Like, he's Wes, someone who's competed in so many seasons, should, you know, have he was like, I felt like he was going into the elimination assuming he was going to lose. Like, of course, when you go into elimination, it's always a risk, it's always a gamble. But he wasn't saying anything that gave any.
He had a lot of emotions going into this one because, unlike what Pamela thinks, this could be his last time on the challenge. I think he was just really emotional. And thank God he didn't check himself out. I mean, he pulled it off. But
yeah, and well, I was thinking, I agree with you. I think when you're in that, you know, when you're so overcome with emotion in your head and you're so overwhelmed, you can't. It's so hard to dig up that confidence, like brutally hard, right? And I also think when you have more to lose, you have more at stake, that being not only thinking about his kid, but like your reputation on the show. I think we've kind of, I don't know, I feel like that's how I would be. Like, you go into the show, if you're a rookie, or like it's your 1, 2, 3, you know, your first 3 years, you're kind of just like, woo, like you're young, whatever. If I lose, I don't want to lose, but if I lose, okay, whatever. But after you've been on it, like you said, for almost 20 years and you've won seasons, it's almost like you just have your reputation's on the line every time you go into elimination, that it makes you even more nervous, that it gets in your head that you're like, shit, if I lost, that would suck even more. And I would be embarrassed and all of these things.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel a little, Wes's behavior made me feel like Bananas was a little less embarrassing, because it's like, all right, I guess this means a lot to them, because both of them, I feel like you take it on the chin when you get voted in, and both of them had mini breakdowns about being voted into elimination. So I guess it is.
I think losing, to be them and to lose would be
there's more pressure for them for sure. And let's remember what Wes said. He said, Banana said, like, do you not want to go into the elimination? He's like, no, this is the best part of this show are the eliminations. It's the idea that I might not ever get to come back and do this again. And that hit me. I was like, damn, this is this is like one of the rarest seasons where I am rooting for Wes and Bananas to somehow stand on top of a mountain together with their hands together and just raising them in victory. I don't know. It's crazy. Never seen it before, really.
It is crazy.
All right. Let's wrap this thing up. My favorite episode, scale of 1 to 10, ladies. Come on.
7+, like 7 or 8. I mean, I liked it a lot.
I'm hovering in the 7 range.
So there's other episodes that you thought were better than this one, correct? Just throwing that out there.
Well, on the season or in the history?
On this, I'm just talking this season. Y'all thought I was talking about the whole episode, like this season, it's the best episode so far. Yes. And the fact that it's number 6 on the list as far as the 6th episode, and it's growing, that this is great for their show.
It was definitely the best shock value.
That's what I want.
This was actually the one where I was like, no,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want.
And what I will say also to compliment them is it's been consistent, which is good. Yeah. Sometimes there's seasons where you're like, that one was that one's good and that one sucked. And this one, it's been consistently really good. I've been loving all of them. I don't get bored at all. I don't look at the phone. In fact,
and the fact that these are twice a week, imagine if they spread these out and we were watching these once. So we'd be a month and a half in thinking, is this the best season I've ever seen in my life? But no, we're seeing them twice a week. It's only been 3 weeks so far since this thing aired.
I was such a hater about that at first too, but I've been enjoying that it's twice a week. Like,
wow. If Pamela, we got Jenna on board with a season finally. It's been like 2 years that she's actually liked the show.
All of us. I don't think it's,
no, of course. I know.
Like, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
See y'all. I think there's going to be one on Thursday, so we'll see you Friday, maybe, or something. Maybe next week. We got to find time. If we find time, you'll see us Friday. That's for sure. Okay. Bye, everyone. See ya.
Bye.